Many are the legends of ghosts and mythical beasts that walk the winding paths of Wales. Today we are going to explore one of the most famous, the Hwch DDu Gwyta, a great black tailless sow, as dark as night with glowing red eyes. Welcome to Time Between Times storytelling with me, Owen Staton. My friends, we are rapidly approaching the 100th tale. Incredible that when I first sat down here in this chair with Richard the Ghost, that 100 tales later, we would still be here, telling stories to people all around the world. I thank you, diolch yn fawr o galon, for supporting me in this time. On the 15th of June, if you are listening to this in early June 2022, that is, I will be doing a celebratory live performance at 7:30. The link is on the channel. Please let me know what of the 100 tales is your favourite. And the top 3, I will tell them on that night, if you dare to join me. But in the meantime, sit back, relax, let the world wash on by, and lose yourself in the time between times, the time when it's neither night nor day, but the sun has gone and the sky is grey. The time when the veil between our world and the fairy world grows wafer thin, so thin that for just a few moments you can reach into their realm, and for a few moments they can step into ours. Now is the time that people see lights in the sky. Now is the time that people see fairies. Now is the time between times. So sit back, relax, and let me tell you a tale in a traditional way. Let us go back many hundreds of years to the small town of Narberth. Narberth in Pembrokeshire, a beautiful place on the Welsh coastline, but so full of old myths, legends, ghosts and spirits that you would not be able to fit them in the largest room in the biggest castle. And one of the most famous of them all is the Hwch DDu Gwyta. It is said that on Halloween on Calan Gaeaf, many people had heard it sniffing around their houses. So let us tell the tale. There was a man called Robert Price who had travelled far to come to Narberth on his way to the west coast. One night he sat in a tavern and listened to the locals telling tales. One man stepped forward and sat by the fireplace. He was as white as a sheet and was shaking as he held his drink. And he said to Robert, "It was last night. Last night it had gone dark. The sun had long gone. My family wanted to go to bed, but just as I was about to settle down, I heard a sniffing outside and a grunting like that of a pig. I did not know what it was, but I thought one of the farmers maybe had let their sow out, so I opened the door, and there I saw it, the Hwch DDu Gwyta. It was so dark, it was more like a shadow than something living, with glowing red eyes. It had no tail, but it sniffed and snuffled around. It approached my house, and I slammed the door. And summoning all my courage, I looked out of the window. And there it was, staring back in at me. All the animals in the yard started to go mad, rushing around. I have not slept a wink since that night. And I have spoken to many people in the village who say the same thing, that the Hwch DDu Gwyta lives under the bridge in the centre of the village and comes out between midnight and before dawn breaks, the time between times. You dare not go out after that time." "Rubbish! Rubbish!" said Robert Price. "I will ride over that bridge at midnight tonight with no fear whatsoever, believe me." I beg you, sir, don't do that, for that would lead to your certain doom." Rubbish. That night, as darkness fell, all the people of the inn walked outside as Robert Price mounted his horse that was kept in the stable. They noticed he carried a sword with him. He'd obviously seen battle at some point, and he looked at all of them And he said, "When I return, you will all buy me a drink and all give me a copper coin, for I do not do this for free." There was a nervous laughter as Robert rounded his horse in front of the inn, then saluted the revellers and drinkers and rode off towards the bridge in the middle of town. He rode as fast as his horse would carry him, out through the yard, down through the street, round the winding streets of the village until he could see the bridge in front of him. And then he put his head down and rode as quickly as possible. As soon as the clip-clopping of the horse changed from that being on stone to being on the wood of the bridge, he made the fatal mistake, and he looked up, and standing at the other side of the bridge, first of all, he saw just a pair of red eyes gleaming back at him. But then, although he wanted nothing more than to look away and never look again, he carried on looking, and there he saw it, the Hwch DDu Gwyta, staring back at him. It was as big as a huge cow, more like a bull, with glaring red eyes, no tail, and the body of a pig. Steam came from its nostrils as it snuffled and scratched at the ground. His horse reared up in terror. And although he was an experienced horseman, Robert fell from the back, hit the side of the bridge and fell into the river. He was washed away on the stream, never seen again. And merely his horse returned to the inn. Many of the people inside have watched from afar what had happened and had run in and barred the door until the terrified mare started to sniff and scrabble outside, and one of them let it into the stables, summoning all their courage. Tales of the Hwch DDu Gwyta have fallen down through the centuries, and that is the most famous. The fate of Robert Price washed away on the river. His body was never found. There he was, a victim of this great beast, and it is said that as the year grows dark, the wheel of the year turns, and the night grows even blacker, and the time between times comes longer. It is often seen on those small winding ways in Pembrokeshire, where the night is dark, and the beasts of the other world roam freely. And that, my friends, is the tale of the Hwch DDu Gwyta. Thank you for joining me. My name is Owen Staton. I am a storyteller. Please check out my podcast, Time Between Times podcast, of course. Also, please like and subscribe. The more people who subscribe to this channel, the more people listen to these tales traditionally told, and they can live on through generations. Remember, the 100th story is coming, so let me know your favourites and I will tell the top 3. Diolch yn fawr for listening. Thank you very, very much for joining me. But take care of yourselves. If you have any suggestions for stories, write to me at Owenstaton at AOL.com. Owenstaton at AOL.com. On Twitter, I am at Owen S. Griffiths. And if you're feeling really generous, buy me a coffee at www.ko-fi.com/Owenstaton. It would be much appreciated. Take care, my friends. Remember, there's always a place here for you at the time between times. The time when it's neither night nor day, but the sun has gone and the sky is grey. But beware the winding roads of Narberth, and beware the Hwch DDu Gwyta. No star.